And how can we strengthen our website copy so that it's much more effective? How can we improve our website copy when people read it? So when it comes to website copy, when people read our website, it needs to feel like a warm conversation. It shouldn't sound too salesy. It shouldn't sound like a used car salesman. It shouldn't sound too robotic or AI generated. It needs to feel like a warm conversation. So imagine if you had a conversation with someone and that person only talked about his or herself. You would probably be bored, right? If that person only talked about his or herself. But that's what a lot of websites are doing, is that they just talk about themselves, but they don't really talk about your customers. So by talking about your customers instead, that can really help to make your website copy much more interesting to read. So one key question that it needs to answer is, what problem do you solve for your customers? What are the key problems that your customers have that your brand or offer is able to solve? So by talking about your customers' problems, that would really create the idea that your brand has a much better understanding of the customer, and the customer becomes much more interested in what you have to say because you're saying things that they can relate to. Another key question that your website copy needs to answer is, what are some of the emotional benefits? So when people use your offer, how's it going to make them feel? What's the emotional benefit? So some examples of emotional benefits could be peace of mind. It could also be empowerment. So there's so many emotional benefits that could be conveyed. So it's all about how can we really amplify the emotional benefits so that we can really connect with people at a much higher level. So it needs to really convey the emotional benefit, how they're going to feel after they use our offer. Okay, another key question that it needs to answer is, how exactly will their life improve, or how exactly will their career improve? So it needs to convey the before and after. What's the big outcome? How's your offer gonna make an impact in their lives? So all these things need to be clearly communicated through your website copy to make it much more effective. Another thing that it needs to communicate is what makes your offer different from others. So there has to be that differentiation, a perceived differentiation, because there might be a lot of people that are out there who are selling something similar. So there has to be something unique that we could bring to the table, a way to differentiate our offer from all the others. So when people read your website copy, it needs to communicate what makes the offer different from others, especially if you're selling an offer directly on the website. There has to be that differentiation. Your customers, they need to know what exactly makes this different from all the others that are out there that they've seen. Okay, so another thing that our website copy needs to address is, what are some of the key questions and concerns that they may have? So like I said earlier, a lot of times your customers, they may have certain questions and concerns, and this could be a huge barrier that could prevent them from making that purchase. It's kind of like when you visit a store. So when you visit a store, let's say you visit a store and no one is there to help you. If no one is there to answer your questions, then you'll probably just leave. So it's really important for your website to answer the questions and concerns that your prospects may have. One way to approach this is by having an FAQ section. So an FAQ stands for frequently asked questions. Frequently asked questions. So it's a section on the website in which you answer any questions and concerns that might prevent them from making that purchasing decision. Some people also use chatbots. So chatbots are kind of like integrations on your website in which they can ask a question and then it would get answered automatically, or it would go to your mobile phone so that you can answer your questions. But the thing about chatbots is that sometimes chatbots might slow down your website, especially on the mobile phone. So it's much better to just answer your questions directly on the website as well. So by talking about the problem we solve, by conveying the emotional benefits and how your life would improve, by really talking about what makes their offer different from others and answering any questions that they may have or concerns they may have, all these things will make our website copy much more effective.